and welcome to another episode of the Tombstone Tourist. This week, I'm at the Washington Memorial Park in Stadston, Virginia, just a few miles east of downtown Richmond. This week, I'm going to be visiting the final resting place of one of the nicest and most respected men to ever walk through the NASCAR Garage. You will be hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't respect and love Wesley Christian Junie Donlavey. Junie Donlavey was born here in Richmond on April 8, 1924. He grew up here in Richmond and developed an interest in cars and opened his own repair shop. He also developed an interest in racing and started attending races at the old Southside Speedway, Langley Speedway, and at the Richmond Fairgrounds. In 1950, Junie fielded a car for the first time entering the race at the Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. From that first race through 1974, Junie entered a few races each year. Money and sponsorships were hard to come by, but Junie quickly became one of the most liked people in the sport, and whenever he would show up at the track, his friends and yes, other race teams were quick to help him out. Then, in 1975, Junie found sponsorship that enabled him to run the full NASCAR Winston Cup season. From 1975 until 1988, Junie ran the full Winston Cup schedule, with such drivers as Jody Ridley, Dick Brooks, Ricky Rudd, Ken Schrader, and Benny Parsons, just to name a few. Three of those drivers, Jody Ridley, Ken Schrader, and Bill Dennis, all won the NASCAR Rookie of the Year while driving Junie's car number 90. While most of the NASCAR teams were located in North Carolina, Junie joined fellow Virginians, the Wood brothers, in finding success while operating outside of North Carolina. The Wood brothers maintained their shops in Stuart, Virginia, while Junie's shops were located here in Richmond. In 1989, sponsors began to throw their money toward the multi-car teams, forcing Junie to return to a part-time schedule. He maintained his part-time schedule until 2002, when he, for the most part, closed his shops. He managed to run only a couple of races each of the following 2 years. In 2004, Junie attempted to qualify for the Daytona 500 with Andy Hillenburg as his driver. With only a shoestring budget, Junie failed to qualify for the Great American Race and returned home to Richmond. This was Junie's final NASCAR race. He locked the doors of his shop for the final time. Even in retirement, Junie still made an occasional appearance at the NASCAR Garage, especially at Richmond and Martinsville. But in later years, when Junie was unable to make it to the track, several drivers and crew members always made it a point to visit with Junie when the NASCAR circuit came to Richmond. Junie Donlavey passed away at the age of 90 here in Richmond, Virginia, on June the 9th, 2014. A few months after Junie's passing, NASCAR owner Joe Falk decided to honor Junie by changing the number on his car from 33 to 90 for the fall race here in Richmond. Falk's car also displayed a retro paint scheme similar to that of Junie's longtime sponsor, Truxmore Industries and Sonny King Ford. In a career that spanned almost 50 years, Junie's car started 863 NASCAR races. Of those 863 races, he found victory lane only once, when Jody Ridley won the 1981 Mason Dixon 500 at the Dover Downs Speedway in Dover, Delaware. And in 2007, Junie was inducted into the International Motorsports Hall of Fame. As I said earlier, Junie Donlavey was one of NASCAR's most beloved figures. Driver Benny Parsons once said that the most enjoyable time that he spent as a race car driver was driving for Junie. Junie was so easygoing that the only pressure the driver felt was whenever they put on themselves trying to do their very best for the man most people call simply Mr. Donlavey or Chief. Fellow Virginian Leonard Wood remembered his longtime friend by saying, "The only thing you really need to know about Junie Donlavey is that he was probably the most well-liked person ever in the sport of NASCAR." Junie Donlavey was a true Southern gentleman. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. How many of you remember Junie Donlavey or any of the drivers that drove his number 90 Trucksmore Sunny King Ford? If you do remember Junie or have a special memory of anything related to the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, please share your memories with us in the comments. As always, I want to thank you for watching my videos and for subscribing and all your interesting and very kind comments. Now, until next time, please remember, life is a wonderful journey. Be sure to take time and enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everybody.